Bruce had an extraordinary 33-year career here at the firm. You probably served in as difficult a time period as any Canadian ambassador, except for Kelly Craft now, but lay of the land at the time when you were sworn in and went. And then, of course, you had a number of really difficult things, Keystone Pipeline to other things. The Stephen Harper, the relationship, strong, complicated. Very complicated. Kind of give everyone a lay of the land.
So look, Prime Minister Harper wanted Keystone Pipeline really bad. I mean, he was maniacally focused on getting this pipeline built and approved by President Obama, to the point where the Canadian government were taking out billboards throughout Washington and in the subways and everything, telling everybody, your best friend's here, by the way, approve the pipeline kind of thing. So there was a number of months between when my predecessor left and when I arrived, and immediately I get hotboxed on, we're getting this pipeline approved, right? Well, I just spent 33 years at Goldman. I thought you just give the answer. Exactly. The answer was, no, I can't get this thing approved. This is a process. Sorry, I'm not going to be involved in this process. That didn't go over well for my first meeting, and really what I probably should have said, I understand, let me take that back, I'm listening and doing all this, but that wasn't the way I was. Just as an aside, you know when you're out there and somebody pulls you aside and says, wow, you're so American. I thought, oh, thank you. And Vicki said, that's not a compliment.
That's not a compliment. That's right.
So, but in all reality, what got worse was a week later after this first meeting on the Keystone Pipeline, the Obama administration made the decision not to make the decision on Keystone and wait for the Nebraska court hearings, Supreme Court. And it was Good Friday. It was not a Good Friday, by the way, Bad Friday. And we told the Canadian government that we're not going to make the decision on Keystone. I was called in as the U.S. ambassador.
To the Prime Minister's office.
Well, it was the Foreign Minister's office, and he was out of town, so the Deputy Foreign Minister, but it's Easter weekend. And you know, look, this doesn't normally happen. Just so you know, calling in an ambassador is not a typical thing that happens, period. And it never really happens in Canada, but I got the, what are you guys doing on Keystone? Which they knew what we were doing, but it was a message. And then the message was, I was basically frozen out of a lot of meetings for the next few weeks. The reality is the following. I think there were two big learnings here that one can take away from this experience for me. One is never underestimate something that you may think is small, that may be really important to someone else, and to sit down and do that. That's true in business and life and partnerships, but it's particularly true that I found diplomatically. The second thing is two people can look at the exact same thing, see it completely differently, and both be exactly right. And so, you know, over time, we were able to find paths to cure that. Talk to Canadians, everyone. I said, what's the most important issue with the United States? And I had all these perspectives from the United States side, but from the Canadian side, it was almost uniform across the country. The border, the border, the border. I want the border to function well. I want to come to visit the United States. I don't want to have impediments to the border. I want to be able to move quickly and efficiently. In the United States, the title of ambassador is a title you get to keep for life. It's not anything that I had any concept of or had my arms around until actually leaving, when they were giving me the rules and regulations, how you use that. So it's former ambassador to Canada, but you're still ambassador here, or retired. There are various ways of doing that. But as I contemplated that, receiving that title and having it, I think it comes with responsibility. And I think that, you know, I don't know how other people think about that, but I view that as I'm still the ambassador of the United States, maybe former for Canada, but I still represent, I think, as a citizen ambassador, which I hold to the highest level, the role of citizen in our society, and importance. The second thing, you swear in. Government officials swear in, take an oath of office to preserve and protect the Constitution of the United States against enemies, foreign and domestic. But when your service is over, they don't go, hey, will you swear out now? So I'm still sworn in as far as I can see. And so I'm a citizen ambassador. We're citizen ambassadors. You all are citizen ambassadors. And I think we need to fight for our Constitution and preserve and protect it from enemies, foreign and domestic, as we see it through our eyes as citizens. And that's what we're doing, and that's why we wrote this book, to tell our story and to tell Canadians how much we value Canada, but to tell Americans how important that Canada-U.S. relationship is.